green, green, green. Oh, but Koa holds it around the outside, and he gets a way better
gonna take it.
Pushing hard, already 3 wide into turn 1.
A little bit, and a group of Aston's just piling up on him, trying to hold everybody off. Push him wide a little bit, but you can't make it stick.
Boonstra is able to hold the inside.
Got a little overlap, but he can't do it.
Ooh, and
He just caught it.
Mr. Sir and King are banging doors.
Oh, shoot.
And we're off and away for SRA.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome back to our Wednesday night event here at SRA. We are getting started with Division 2 tonight, round 4 at Imola, and welcoming our 2 hosts along with myself. Selena, welcome to the stream tonight.
Hello, hello. Great to be back for another week of great racing in SRA.
Let's do it. And Jerry, welcome back, sir.
Hey, Raphael, good to be back, man. I'm excited for this race. Let's see what it has to give us.
Let's do this, guys. Drivers briefing just ended. The drivers are on their usual free practice session, as just takes about 5 minutes or so. We're going to go ahead and, before we head on to the drivers' ACC screen, we're going to take a quick look at the track we are racing in tonight. So let's switch that over to our track map page. As we can see here at Imola on the east side of Italy. Autodromo Enzodino Ferrari, the real name of the whole track, if you want to say that, in the city of Imola. But it is roughly 3 miles long, basically 5 kilometers all the way around, 19 turns all the way around the track in the city of Imola. This track has gone through quite a few layout changes over the years, and I was familiar with the old school, go way back in the 90s, and they've added quite a few chicanes here, but took some of them out on the other part, changed a few parts on the inner sector 2 of the track. But yeah, it is. I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna try to show you guys a couple of Easter eggs before we get into qualifying. But it is actually my favorite track of all time, along with Interlagos in Brazil. So let's switch over to our race screen. As we see here, we currently have how many drivers we have here tonight have joined in? We have 40
I see
drivers.
40, yeah. I see 40 so far, but we might have a couple trickle in during qualifying, so we'll see.
Yep.
But that's a good grid. It looks like a lot of different, I mean, maybe more golds. I'm trying to just kind of estimate here, but it looks like there's more golds instead of silvers. But overall, I think a very balanced grid as far as drivers go. So I think we're going to see a good race. And there's a lot of drivers who have very, very good pace in the wet. So we'll have to see how those drivers adapt to the changing conditions. And they're going to be starting qualifying here in just about 10 seconds.
Again, going back to Imola again, and I know I'm following Harris around here on the stream. I'm gonna switch over to our free cam for just a second. Well, actually, you know what? Qualifying is about to start. I'll do that once it resets and they're on their outlap. And got a couple of, I'm not gonna say, I mentioned to the guys earlier was Easter eggs, but it's a couple of things that Kunos did to the track that when I visited recently, they were pretty much identical to what you would actually see here in the game. So it's really cool to see those, and we're gonna do a quick free flyover, I'd say. As we were following Harris around on his practice, he ended up losing a little bit and hit the wall, went into the pits. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna get started in qualifying just a bit as the drivers come around and finish their free practice session. And
yeah, here we go. Qualifying is starting here, and the silver drivers will be starting on their outlap here, getting their tires warmed up, their brakes warmed up, and getting on to go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And as they're on the wide lap, as I mentioned, I'm going to go ahead and just take quick focus away from... I'm going to focus on one of the Go drivers so that the camera doesn't move around as much and all that. Let's go here, and we are going to do this, guys. So first off, we're going to take a little bit of a drive here into the pits, and we're going to go forward. I'm going to fast forward this way back here. And first off, as we turn around right at the exit of the pits, we make a little bit of a U-turn. There's a really cool Ayrton Senna mural here, right where next to see cars parked. So it's really sweet that they've actually moved this into the game. It's something that's, I'm an Ayrton Senna fan. I'm from Brazil, so I saw that live, and I thought it was really, really cool that they've put that in game. And you can see even trucks over here parked with the cars that are racing. So a couple of small details that you see on the track that Kunos was able to do. But not only this, we're going to take a little bit of a flyover here still. Let's fly this way. And this being the Tamburello, as we know as far as turn goes. Now, this used to be a super fast, full flat-out turn that would go this way. And if we go this way right here, I mean, this is more like in a sad zone, but I still got to mention that Ayrton Senna ended up crashing here and lost his life. So if you actually go to this part of the track here, there's a couple of flags nearby to where the crash scene was. So this being the first part, I would say, the memorial, you would say, but the actual memorial is across on this side right here. So if you cross over to the park, which is the Aqua Minerale Park, which is this huge park they have here, there's a Senna memorial right here with a couple of flags showing on the fence right here as well, which is really cool. Now, there's a lot more flags and stuff than you have here, just a couple of flags. It's like, it's crazy. There's so much stuff going on, a couple of places to sit. Really, really cool. I mean, I thought this was amazing that they did this. And this, people might not know about this one as well, because on that same weekend, Ayrton Senna passed in 1994. Another F1 driver, Roland Ratzenberger, ended up crashing towards this, which is now a chicane. It used to be a super fast straight. Here, he ended up losing his life here. And they end up making a memorial for him on this part of the track. If you go here, part over here, and you can see, I drove by this last November, and I remember spotting this. So there is a nice tribute poster right here for him as well. See a couple of pictures, and also on the fence that's facing the turn right over here. So those are the couple of things that I mentioned about the track, which makes a pretty cool. And then to get to this part of the track, it's kind of crazy. If you want to visit the actual track itself, you got to go a couple through U-turns through here, and you come down this way. And I'll go fast as the drivers are going to start to qualify last. But you actually go underneath this bridge, and then you actually follow the track around this way, all the way through here, and you drive. You could park your car somewhere here. There's a bathroom here to the right-hand side, and then here's where you get to the memorial, which is right over here. So, anyways, enough talking. I just wanted to show you guys a couple of things that we have here. Imola and Kunos did an outstanding job in actually getting that out basically on the game itself. So, really, really cool. Got to give the guys at Kunos props for that work. So, excuse me, hit the drive button by accident. Anyways, I'll let you guys talk for a bit as I'll move over to qualifying.
Thank you, Raphael, for that history lesson. And it's always sad to see deaths on the track, but it's a part of racing, and we try to minimize that as much as you can. Thankfully, in the real sport, the sport that we do, sim racing, we don't have that. We were able to race from the safety of our homes. But it's good to kind of, take a moment and kind of remember, the guys who are doing out there in the real, and they're racing in, sometimes less than optimal conditions as well, like we are tonight. And they're putting their lives on the line to give us entertainment as well. So it's one of those things where we need to take a moment and realize that, but also realize that we can do it from the safety of our homes, and we should be thankful for that. So, yeah, let's get started here. The guys are going to be putting in their starting times. We see coming in first, contender that we've seen near the podium a couple times already is Drebes, putting in a 151.4, which in these conditions is pretty good. Is kind of close to what times I've seen. As far as the rain coming down, what do you guys think? Is it going to get worse, or is it going to get better? It doesn't look like there's too much on the track right now. What do you think?
Oh, Selena, you first.
Oh. I don't know. I'm just thinking from our my D4 race. It wasn't too bad. It kind of stuck the same, but got a tiny bit lighter. So I would think it may be quite similar to what was yesterday, but you never know with, well, this game. But
Oh,
it may rain less, may rain more. You never know.
well, the qualifying session, we take a quick look at the top right-hand corner, and we see the little weather icons, we like to call it, towards where track, wet, temperature, and all that. Qualifying is only 20 minutes long, 10 minutes for silver and 10 minutes for gold. You see there's going to be less rain in roughly about 10 minutes, so it could change a little bit. There's going to be maybe a little dry line going on track as well from the silver drivers as the gold get out on track. They might, so we might see the silvers drop quite a bit if things do get a little bit better for the gold drivers. But again, anything can change race time, which is might could be a completely different scenario. So we'll see.
Race time is
You never know.
So yeah, race time's in 2 hours, so it completely changes up. What conditions are on the track at that one time. There's an extremely high chance of there being rain with how we handle the preset. But there is a chance that it's a completely dry race, and I'm hoping not, because I wanna see some racing in the wet here. But there is a chance, and yeah, like you were saying, there is a chance of some lower rain here coming up in the next 10 and 30 minutes. So gold drivers are going to have a chance to really beat the silvers out of the water here. But looking at the board right now, we're seeing some pretty good times coming out from these silver drivers with about 3 minutes left to qualify. How many people do you think are going to break into that podium from the gold drivers, looking at these conditions and looking at these times currently?
My take, I mean, the silver guys are out, like we mentioned, and we do see, Schlitz last week did a hell of a race, and he's actually one of the gold drivers. Now, we do have, and I'm looking for him, and I don't see him just yet on our board, and I don't see as a silver driver, but unless things change, Crown, do I see him on the server? Do you guys see him at all?
I do. Jay Crown, he's in 32nd right now. He's a gold driver.
Gold driver. So did that get changed? Because I thought he was silver, and I
think so.
Changed.
I think you're right. I think he did change. There was a lot of people
promotions
who moved up and down. They had a promotion, demotion, and there's a lot of changes. So yeah, I think this is one of the drivers that was promoted to gold, as we've seen. He put in a great race last time, and rightfully so was promoted to gold this season here, or this race.
So that makes sense.
Along with a couple others as well. I'm not sure exactly off the top of my head, but I'm sure, Archie promoted to gold, and a couple others here. But these drivers, they're at the top of their game, and they moved up to gold here.
Yeah, and then I was talking to you guys earlier, a couple of livery changes. I've been following Nick Wagner around on that THR livery you see on camera. He's currently in third, by the way, as he's put in a pretty good set of laps. And this livery looks, like I said, he does look really, really good. The lines that you see on it. His teammate has a different sort of livery. This is more like of the dark side of the Lexus, and then his teammate has the bright side of Lexus. We'll take a look in a bit. He hasn't put in a lap. He's actually still in the pits. And he's actually just coming right out as we move over to him, Mr. Andy Berg. He's currently in 17th. And let's take a look at the contrast between one another. And
so who's his teammate? Wagner?
Yes. And looks like, I'm not sure, I think he might not have loaded delivery, as I see more of a standard. I'm trying to get him to get delivery going, but I don't think he was able to. At least on my end, I am not able to see
I see Wagner's livery. And it does look like that,
Yes, but Berg's teammate, I don't see it. I see more of a standard Lexus, which I mean still looks really good. That's just a standard Lexus, but I don't see him using. Maybe next week he would pull that up, which looks really, really good.
I see it. I see it. I think, unless it's just like the standard covered up.
Or unless maybe on my end I might have got, even though I updated deliveries to the last minute. And let's see if we pull this up.
I don't know.
Maybe it is me, but if you guys go to Berg in 18th right now, but I do see more like a standard Lexus livery. That's on my end, but we'll take a look at it.
Yeah, I see his livery. So.
Oh, so maybe you got it updated and I didn't, even though I went through the awesome racing at the last minute.
Yeah, it says their team THR or whatever right on there.
So. Well, Well, you
So
see,
yeah, I guess they really was last minute because
minute.
I updated at the very last minute.
I'll make
So-
sure that's taken care of next week. It was on me then. It's all right. I'll take that.
No, it's all right. I mean, drivers, if you expect the commentators to update at the literal last second, then they're expecting a little bit too much from us because we got to sync up too. So try to give it days advance so that we're able to sync.
Nah,
Kinda helps out.
And I know Jerry was like basically within 1 second or so of joining the server and getting that. So he's got it, but I didn't. I will make sure it's for next week. We'll get that
That's
going.
crazy.
No worries. We'll get that going.
But anyways, let's take a look here. We got a 149.8 from Drebis over here, and he's improving on his lap by about, well, as I kind of went over to him, he lost a lot of that time there, but he's improving about half a tenth right now.
Yeah, he lost a little bit on Aquaman and Rally, but he's going through the chicane now. Maybe he improves it, as he does gain the delta back, but then loses again.
I mean, he's up by an entire second, though. I mean, at this point, you've kind of secured. A lot of the people are in pits already. There's nobody coming close to him that are on their lap, and the golds are already out here. So, as far as silver drivers go, I think he's got his position secure. What about the golds? With that time, it's a second up on any of the silvers. That's definitely a gold time, I feel.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna. I don't know. I feel like we're not gonna have anybody break the #1 spot out of the golds unless it really does dry up. If it dries up enough, I feel like they could, but that's a time, man. That's definitely a time in the ring.
Yeah, the silver drivers are just finishing their lap. I'm following Scott. He's going to be closing up the line, and he is improving a bit on his time. He's crossing the line, and we'll see if he's able to get a little bit of extra, but he doesn't. Still 13th, as we'll see the gold drivers now coming right out. And Mitchell, he has made to today's race, and I will just leave it at that. And we're going to focus on somebody else after that comment.
Yeah, let's not jinx Mitchell here. He's had a rough time this season. A lot of races where you've either got a penalty for something that wasn't his fault, just the ACC giving him that, or something else completely not his fault. I'm hoping that this race is able to give him the position he deserves, a podium position, because Doug is a true G, and he knows it. We all know it.
Yep.
And I'm currently following Brian Anderson, by the way, on his Lamborghini. I believe he might be the first driver of the gold group to get a valid lap. It looks like he's leading that group, and we'll take a quick look at that for him.
Yeah, that's a really nice livery, too. I definitely like the gradient that he has from front to back. It's not going quite to white. It's more that black to gray. Kind of that test dummy color scheme theme going on there. It's very nice.
Looks
and the
really
Lambo,
good.
nonetheless, is a beautiful car. It's just a little bit tricky to race here. But I'm glad that these drivers are bringing it out for this wet race today.
Yeah, Anderson, I believe ever since I've raced with him back in Season 3, I'm not sure if he changed his car, but he's always gone with the Lamborghini.
Really?
So,
Really?
Hey,
Wow.
and again, Season 4 and 5, I don't think I raced directly with him, but every time I would tune into a stream, he's always on the Lamborghini. So, hey, like me on the McLaren. So, hey, whatever.
Yeah,
It's all good.
One trick pony, if you're good at it, you're good at it. It doesn't matter. And he's gonna put in a time there. That's gonna put him right into 15th. But he's not done. He's ready to put some more laps in, and they still got 6 minutes here to qualify. We got Chilcutt, one guy who I think was a silver before. He's moved up to gold here, putting in a podium time with a 49.7. And we got Wheeler coming in with a 49.8. And as I was saying with Drebes, nobody beating that time, I'm pretty sure I'm going to eat my words because there's a lot of times coming in from these guys, and they're only improving here. I think that rain lighting up a little bit has made the track kind of a little bit less slippery.
Yeah, there seems to be a dry line coming across the track too, and that does benefit you if you come a little bit later on a rainy session. So if they can get a little bit more grip out of those tires, they should be able to improve and send their times to the top. But Dravis, again, is still with that top time, 49.685. But Mewtwo on the Porsche has done a 49.692. So basically the identical time on his first lap. So Dravis might be in trouble right now. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think there's definitely going to be some cars breaking in, and that has to do with the bettering of the conditions here. And two, I think I've underestimated some of the Gold drivers' promotions here. And while Drevius has a good time, a lot of these Gold drivers, they're nobody to mess with either. They're monsters on the field, and some of these guys might be sleepers in the dry, but monsters in the wet. And we might see a guy come out that we've never seen before.
I'm following Chilcutt, by the way. I know he's made a mistake, unfortunately, on this lap, but he was improving, so hopefully another lap. But Schlitz, currently in 5th, is coming up with a pretty good lap right now, ready to jump up. I would say close to the dry base time if he keeps this time up, but very close as he's coming around Aquaman Rally.
I think that would jump him up to P3 there if he's able to hold this time, getting that podium spot right away from Chilcutt. And it looks like he's on track to do that, coming around the corner here, coming up to the last few corners. Let's see if he can execute it here. He's up by even more time now. I think that'll put him right into first if he's able to complete this here. Let's see how he executes these last couple of corners.
No, he's got a great time. He
Not bad. Doesn't lose any time coming out of that.
He's good. He's probably going to send
coming out of the last corner here. Yeah, he's keeping a lot of that time there. That's going to knock him right up into first. He's going to be happy with that, taking that podium spot. First driver to take that podium spot for qualifying here with a 149.4. And right now, there's no driver that's currently on track to beat that. What are your predictions? Do you think he's going to hold that?
Oh, I mean, currently we have 3 minutes left in qualifying, and unless they have a little bit, their tires it's raining, but I'd say a little bit warmed up. They might give it a go.
Yeah, but look at Chilcutt though.
And Chilcutt is the one I talked about earlier, who was absolutely flying until he made a mistake. So he might actually consider he takes this chicane on the correct way. Looks like he is. He might actually send his Aston Martin to the front ahead of Schlitz, who's actually not doing a great lap as of right now. So Schlitz maybe take that back with one final lap after this. So.
Yeah, Chilcutt up by 7 tenths, excuse me, and that'll put him 4 tenths ahead of Schultz if he's able to hold it with a 49 flat. Drops a little bit with his time there, but so far he's executing all of his turns correctly, and yeah, that's going to put him into the top spot there.
And Mitchell,
almost 4 tenths away
wow,
from...
almost a 48.
Oh, there goes Mitchell.
Yep.
Coming in here with a 49.6.
Just letting it on. That's all we're going to say.
It's good to see Mitchell hit the podium here.
We're done with Mitchell.
Careful with their words.
We're done. He's got that third for now, and we're moving to the next driver. Who else has got a good delta? Friedrichsen, by the way, in 14th. You guys want to keep an eye on him. He's got a really good delta. He lost a little bit on the exit off the chicane, but he should be moving up some positions if he can keep that at least a little bit of this space up right now going towards the end of the last sector. So
you know who's got a really good delta? Jason Allen with a 2-second delta in 40th place.
Oh, well, I mean, he's about to, he has 3 seconds behind you. He'll move up quite a few spots.
You might move up a couple spots. It's good to see my boy doing well. And yeah, there's a lot of improvement throughout the board, throughout the 30s to 20s here that can definitely improve in these last couple laps here. And it's good that we're seeing a lot of gold drivers breaking into the top 10. Only one silver driver, Drebe, is over here in the top 10. It just kind of goes to show that the field is more balanced now after those changes.
And Chilcutt, he's already with that pole with that 49.097, improving on his delta again. So he wants to guarantee that spot because Schlitz is coming for him. It looks like this is the battle for the pole here between those two guys.
Yeah.
They're about half a second ahead of the entire field. So both Aston Martins just going at it for that pole position. We'll see what happens as he's about to cross, improving just a bit, but still enough.
Yeah, by 2 tenths. I mean, 2 tenths is no laughable amount here, and that's going to kind of, so far, secure him into that top spot. Now dipping under the 49 mark into the 48s. And right now, Schlitz is looking at his time like, where can I get 4 tenths out of this? Or sorry, 3 tenths.
Now coming around last turn on the last sector, Louis with a half a second improvement. He should move up close to the top 2 drivers with the current improvement. Not as much as you would go for pole, but
Yeah, that's
goes
going
to
to put him
fourth.
in P4 right there. Yeah, that's going to put him in P4 if he can hold that.
That was a heck of a
Oh, yeah,
lap.
he did. He did complete the lap as I was talking. Well, we can look at Fredrickson, though. Fredrickson put in like a second time right there. Oh, where'd Fredrickson go? Oh, no, he's still, okay, he's his second up right now. Now he's about 8/10 up. But if he's able to do that, that's going to put him like right into third.
And I feel bad for Schlitz now as he crossed the line as the time expired. And Fredrickson second, by the way. Just mentioned that. So
There we go.
Schlitz actually crossed the line just a second too late, not able to get another lap in. So,
that's
just
unfortunate. But he will be able to take
so
third, though,
close.
and that's no laughable matter. Starting third is great. And 3 Aston Martins right at the front. It's going to be a tough battle. And Fredrickson kind of making a huge jump from one of the later positions. I think he was like P11 up to P2 with on that last lap there, almost a second of improvement. Very well done. And yeah, the roster is filled out now, and a lot of gold drivers in the top half, which is what we want to see. And yeah, let's have a good race, guys. I'm ready.
And it looks like Jay Crown, by the way, should be the last driver to cross if he keeps that line valid. He's improving his time. He's currently in 30th, so not really something to expect from Crown. But he's coming around the last turn and with a little bit of an improvement on his lap, and he should net him a few positions. It's quite close to one another towards the rear end of the field, by the way. And he just jumps up. He jumps 7 positions by improving just a little bit.
Damn.
So
I want to point out Wheeler too. Wheeler also jumped from I think P11 to P4 in that last lap as well. So Wheeler taking the 4th spot, which is going to make 4 Aston Martins in the front of the grid here. That's going to be funny.
That's interesting. As we know, the Aston Martins were doing quite well during practice, so it's something that they were able to move up to the top, and we see quite the group up front. So
I think Ferraris don't really do the best on this track.
Yeah.
Hey, we're seeing a lot of Ferraris,
like
but yeah. I think it's just too. It's like the wet plus the Ferrari. It's just it's kind of hard. Like you got to play it safe sometimes, you know. And and Aston is just so all around better at a lot of stuff. But the Ferrari, I'll always love the Ferrari. You know, it's one of those things where you really got to watch the curves. You got to watch braking on the curves. You got to watch those wet conditions here.
Yeah.
And the Ferraris just couldn't handle it where the Astons could coming in here. And these drivers are going to get their final setups ready as we head into our race start here.
And I'm going to pull up, going on free cam mode one more time. Just kind of take a closer look at the liveries on this. Whoa, I moved way too fast. I might have given everybody a little bit of a headache. My goodness, my thing was going crazy. So let's get up to the front of the grid and kind of go slowly over the liveries. Not take too long, about 1:25 to get started. But heck of a lap from Chukot and got that top spot, and then Fredrickson with that second and Schlitz on that third. And that's, Go drivers, again, we're talking about earlier, they all basically send it to the top, and Drebis fell down to 9th, like you said. So, but Drebis is extremely quick. We should see a pretty good battle going on across for the entire race. It is rainy, so again, they did not get lucky with their dry once we moved over to wet. Now, in 30 minutes, there's going to be a little bit less rain, but it is going to be quite wet for most of the session, so.
Yeah, we're still going to see that rain. It's not going to be a completely dry race, but it looks like it's just going to be kind of a light rain for this race here. If we're looking at the weather widget, in about 30 minutes, it's going to be less rain. So I think it's just going to be kind of a light rain race, which honestly I kind of like better rather than a flooded track here. Easier to see drivers, but still gives that difficulty of that wet track. And yeah, the drivers are going to be making their final edits here, and they're able to click drive here as the countdown counts down here. And yeah, is there any livery that we haven't seen before? I know I just synced up, so I'm seeing all of them here. Is there anything that pops out to you besides the ones we've already looked at?
From my end, I think as I kind of scanned through the field, everybody looked from similar. Nobody has major changes, at least that I remember. But again, I guess next week we'll see a change with Berg getting his livery taken care of. I mean, well, actually, my end getting taken care of for the stream next week. But other than that, everybody looked pretty good. I mean, as far as they've kept the same standard that I know of. And one thing I actually forgot to do before, for you guys on the stream, was going to actually bring up the current standings really quick. While they're going on their out lap's going to take a bit longer.
Let's bring up the standings here.
Take a look at the standings just to see where everybody stands again after the switching with, silvers and golds. Let's pull this up for just a second. So as we move this over, Archie does have that lead. He's, again, gold driver, like you mentioned before. He's got a really good lead with Russell Allen in second and third. And Crown is in fourth, by the way. So quite close between the second, third, fourth. There's quite a bit of a mix, as the drivers have not done well at every race, so they've kind of varied one another. But also for the back end of the field, say a couple of drivers haven't had a race yet, and you get one good result, you can jump right up to the top of the board, which is something that's really nice. Let's take a look at the team standings for just a second here as we pull it up. We do have Ghost Rider Racing, Maple Bandits with that lead with Joan Archie and Steven Smalley. And Champion Motorsports Team McLaren, Go McLaren, João Semedo and John Crown. That second spot, and third spot, Ghost Rider Racing with Alleged Ostrich Killers. That name is always going to get me. Jared second and Jack Poliak with that third spot, and we'll see this change quite a bit most likely at the end of tonight's event as we'll switch back over to our main feed.
Yeah, let's take a look back over here. These guys coming through single file line.
I am following
up the tires here.
I do have the camera focused towards the the front of the field. On the main screen, I'm going to go ahead and focus on Schlitz on third. That gives us a pretty good idea as far
what's
as
going on. Yeah,
what's going on at the front, and then the picture-in-picture we're down. I normally like to put a little bit halfway to the field, so I have it currently on Wagner. But I'm going to go ahead and drop that down to Whitlock in 20th, and then we will switch the PIP and main camera if we need to in case something does happen. Hopefully not everybody gets away unscathed tonight. That's always the thing that we want to hope for everybody.
It's always the hope. I mean, I hope there's no lap 1 incidents. And usually the D2 it isn't the worst about that. I know some of the higher divisions, or sorry, the lower divisions, it's kind of harder, but in the wet, you never know what's going to happen. And a lot of these drivers, they're close together, rainy conditions. You're bound to have something happen on lap 1. But our goal is no lap 1 incidents. I'm hoping drivers are all going to be very, very careful, and they're lining up here on the main straight, about to get the green light. And on this track, it's interesting too because there is a kink in turn 1, so kind of being aware of that is very, very important to racing cleanly and racing safely.
And we're just about to go green, guys, as they're about to cross. Let's do this.
Take a look. I'm going to look at the middle of the pack here just to see if we get any incidents going on. And yeah, they're looking like they're lined up here. They are going. Lambo's coming down the middle here in the middle of the pack. It looks like they're all filing through here. Let's look down later in the pack, see if there's any incidents. Oh, it looks like in the back there's a little bit of an incident.
Right at the
no, it's
Chilcutt
in the back.
I believe Fredrickson.
It's madness in the back. I'm getting flashbacks to D5 now because the exact same happened. Exact same thing happened. Like one car got hit, and then the whole grid fell apart.
There was
multiple drivers turned around.
Major brake marker, I would say, mistake on turn 1. I believe that sent him way down on the field after that hit. It looks like that was a massive hit. I'm not sure if his car is complete damage, but Wheeler actually came out. I mean, excuse me, Schlitz. Schlitz is actually.
Oh no, another incident right there. A little bit of a spin coming out of that hairpin into the wall. That was Fredrickson that got hit. Unfortunate.
And he has fallen way down on the track, but he's trying to work his way back up. And I'm not sure if Fredrickson's the one that might have tapped Chilcutt at the start. Hopefully, looked like everything's okay, but they did lose position. Chilcutt actually looks like even after that bump at the beginning, looks like he was end up okay. He got right back onto the track, so not that much of a loss for him. But that was major miscalculation.
Yeah. That was
that's unfortunate.
That was a big thing
because he was P2 for qualifying. Now he's down in 27th here, just kind of firmly racing along with his comrades. And yeah, that's just unfortunate when you qualify so good and one little thing on lap 1 ruins your race, which is why we really try to enforce clean lap 1 racing here. And let's take a look back on the track. It looks like Schlitz is kind of pulled out here. He's got a 2.3 second gap. He's able to avoid all the carnage. And yeah, the podium is kind of secure now. And Schlitz is probably feeling good. He's like, I don't have any pressure. I can do my thing. The only thing that's going to hold me up are the back markers.
He was lucky enough to just kind of saw that incident on turn 1 and said, well, I'll see you guys later, where the whole thing stayed back there. And
Yeah,
was, you know,
free position.
Free position all the way to the front. And, you know, it's a rainy race, and he can keep, you know, just things, you know, without, you know, pushing a little too hard or not, he should be able to finish up near the top, if not the top. He was actually, last race, he had I believe he had a podium. So he had just moved from a different division as well. So he's just been absolutely killing here in Division 2.
Yeah, moving up from a different division is definitely a hard, you know, a hard thing to overcome, because there's a lot of higher level drivers in your division that you're moved up to. But this guy has not backed down from that challenge and has consistently placed well among his higher skilled colleagues here. And looking at the battlefield here, we're going to look at P8, P9, and it looks like Anderson was just able to make the pull on Boardman here and take that position in the Lamborghini.
Let's take a quick look at that replay and see if we're able to see what the overtake takes. And he actually sent it, looks like it was from the outside, and just kind of sent it on the outside. And for the looks of it, he backed out. Boardman backed out and just said, no, I'll wait for that.
Here,
and,
you can have it.
Yep, I'll take that. And he's moved right up. So, but he's opened up quite a bit of room now. Stasiv is actually in 9th, by the way, and battling with Archie and Boardman, all that little bit of a mix between those 4 guys as they're kind of trading positions.
Yeah, Archie just made a move on Boardman on that second to last corner there, and now he's going to try and gain time here on Stasiv.
Now, he does have Boardman right behind him. Is still not exactly free and clear, but Boardman looks like he just said, all right, you can have this. And, but he's got to worry about Smalley, who's behind.
Oh no, Boardman into the wall.
Oof. Oh,
he's into the board on the wall.
Tough luck.
And yeah, he's dropping down multiple positions here as he aims to get back on the track here. Rejoins parallel safely. Well done there. Trying to get out of the way of other drivers here. And it looks like Lee's going to be the last position he gives up in that whole fiasco, knocking him down into 21st place. Unfortunate to see there. Was that an incident, or did he just kind of spin?
Hey, it looks like I was following him on the helicam. He just lost his rear and just went straight into the wall. So just unfortunate that happened to him.
That is unfortunate indeed. Looks like Cueto had a little bit of an incident as well near the back of the pad, but let's look at this little conglomerate of 26th, 27th, and 28th. All these drivers very, very close together. I feel like there's going to be a move here in just a second. They're coming into the wide two-hander.
Yep.
Oh no, a little bit of incident on
Right.
track there.
Oh.
They're able to kind of dodge
Dan
that and get
loses
through, but yeah, Dan Rebel and Fredrickson. Fredrickson is just not having a good race tonight.
Yeah.
Knocked
Ever
down
since that lap
30,
1,
yeah.
he's just been trying to hang on for dear life, but it doesn't seem to be working quite well for him.
It just looked like it was a
really
bump.
isn't.
He got
You are
bumped on
correct.
the rear. He got bumped, which caused him to bump somebody else and just created a whole mess of things there in the back. Looks like just another late break, unfortunate event. So he's back on track.
Yeah,
That
it
was
is
Rebel.
unfortunate. All right, let's take a look at Dan Lee here right now. He's side by side with Jay Crown. He's just overtaken Crown here, going into the last turn into the straight here, and is going to secure that 19th position. Along with Wheeler and McCoy here in 23rd and 24th. Oh, yeah, it looks like, actually, sorry, McCoy is deciding to go to the pits. Keep in mind that for this race, we do have a 55-minute pit window, so drivers will be able to repair their early damage. All right, and Krawczyk overtaking Diggs in 12th and 13th right there. Looks like Diggs just kind of letting him by, realizing that he does not want to cause an incident there. Krawczyk's been able to take that position very, very cleanly.
Well, it's good to see Diggs back. I know he hadn't much luck on the first 3 rounds, just like Doug didn't have much luck. And He looks like he's hanging up to the top there, close to the top 10 in 13th, and he's a really, really good driver himself. Himself and Krochik, I believe, last season battled a few times, as I battled with them as well. And it's good to see them close to the top 10 so far.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Let's take a look at 9th and 10th here. We got Steve and Archie, which were 2 previous silver drivers, now in the golds here. Used to be battling it out. I think it was 2 races ago they were battling it out, and now they're battling it out here in the chicane, going over those bumps here and going into that long straight, well, kind of straight. More of a curve, but there's no braking zone. And they're going to come up here to the last couple corners into that main straight here. I don't think a move's going to happen just yet, though.
Stasi be holding on with that Lamborghini, and ahead of him, Anderson with his Lamborghini. So pretty close to one another, but he's still got a little bit of a gap to get to him, but he's currently on the top 10. He didn't have much good luck in the previous 3 races, Stasi.
Yeah.
And looks like he's at least so far handling his Lamborghini just fine, with just about 8 minutes into the race anyway, so.
Yeah, top 10 on a race like this in the wet is a good place to be in. Let's take a look at 17th and 18th here. We got Kovac and Wagner. It looks like Wagner's going side by side on the main straight, going for that overtake there. Wagner gets the overtake done. Oof. Kevin goes a little bit rough over those bumps in the chicane there, and Wagner's able to secure that position.
Let's take a look at that move that started way back at the starting line. So we'll see him make it on the outside. And he actually crosses. It looks like Kovac actually hit the inside curbs too much, lost a little bit of traction on his portion, which gave him Wagner the position. So that was a good move.
Yeah, great move by then. And it looks like we're seeing another move in 22nd and 23rd with Boardman and Wheeler side by side going down that straight there. They're going to go into that kind of sweeping right-hander. And it looks like, yeah, it looks like Boardman's just going to be able to take that position. But wait, he takes it a little bit too wide. And Wheeler is like, yeah, I'll take that mistake.
Now it's a free car battle. Because now Davidoff is catching right up to Boardman.
And now Davidoff is going to catch right up as well, but Boardsman like, no, I'm not giving up 2 positions there. I've already given up 1.
You made it stick.
Decides to focus. But that has allowed Hartman to pass David there.
He did.
Going into that chicane there. And yeah, he said Hartman is able to stick it.
He took advantage of that. He's like, oh, why not?
Yeah, might as well take it. I mean, it's
the door, I'm
position
gonna
up.
walk right in. I'm going to walk right in.
He invited him over. He said, sure, I'll take that spot. Why not? He cut the inside curve completely, but he's still like, I'll make it stick. If I take a track cut warning, if that's the case, I will still gain this position. So,
all right. And taking
actually,
a look
Boardman
here,
is pitting early as well. So he just...
I think Boardsman's got some damage.
Yeah.
By his pitting here.
That would make sense. Yeah, I
that
might
may
as well
be why
take that.
he had those positions lost as well.
Yeah.
By the way,
let's
guys,
take a look.
I'm moving up to 12, and there's a whole cluster of cars going on here with, looks like, what I seems to be Krochik and quite a few drivers just next to one another. What I believe one of them might be a blue flag, but it's just kind of like, what a mess.
No.
Somebody goes wide.
Russell Allen goes wide.
Russell Allen.
We got a train going on here.
Yeah, this is a huge train with Semedo, and everybody are just next to one another.
And all the pressure is on Dig.
Semedo leading that train right now. A lot of drivers within a couple tenths with each other. Nobody really in a position to make a pass here going through these rough couple of corners here. It's all right down to consistency here. Who's going to mess up? Who's going to make the mistake?
Yeah, this is a group of cars.
Oh, Drebes just made a pass on Mitchell there, but Mitchell has a little bit of a switchback. Will he get the better exit on the straight here? Oh, Drebes is looking for that draft right now down the main straight. If you're going to make a pass, this is the time to do it. There he goes. He has that.
He's right on him.
He's right on Mitchell's
tail. Oh, Mitchell's like, no, you are not going to pass me.
He does the squeeze, goes on the racing line.
Oh, that was goal.
Drebes goes for the inside again.
Yep.
Wow.
And that's a pass.
Mitchell
He secured it.
Drebes has losing a little bit of traction over the bumps there, but so does Mitchell. He's losing it a little bit over that corner, and Mitchell is going to give up that position. that's unfortunate to see right there for Mitchell right there, dropping down into P5.
So that was a pretty good battle leading to that chicane on turn 1, and Travis has held that position, and Mitchell kind of backed up, but made it really hard for him to take that. So,
yeah, for sure. Indeed. Let's take a look further back the grid here. We're gonna look at that little train. It's kind of broken up a little bit now, but we're gonna have Russell Allen and Wagner and Lee and Kovac and headed up by Semedo and Gardner there, making up that train, following in the teens there. Semedo is a guy we've seen before.
Yes, we have. Now, Diggs is leading this
he's
whole
a monster.
train. Yeah, he definitely is. Now, this train, by the way, goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars long. Are basically within a half a second of one another. So Diggs leading this whole group. And if I'm one of these guys, I might consider taking an early pit and getting out of this if I'm not basically Diggs who's leading the group. Just to maybe try to do a little bit of an undercut. That's just kind of me thinking on my side. So.
Yeah, I think at this point that going through the drivers' heads is I don't want to get blue flagged. And the earlier I pit, the more blue flags I'm going to have.
Yeah.
So for me, I would try and pit as late as you can. For me, I pit kind of with, I think there was like 20 minutes left in the pit window. I got some damage on the previous lap. I was underperforming and I decided to pit there. But I think a lot of these drivers don't want to have that blue flags and they want to hold that position on their lap as much as they can before they have to pit there.
Now, this has been pretty much the closest group of all of them. And there's quite a few drivers. We have, again, Diggs, Semedo, Gardner, Wagner, Russell Allen, and Lee. We're pretty close to one another, led by the Porsche. We have Semedo on the McLaren, Gardner with that Lamborghini. Good to see the Lamborghini landing, but in constant pressure from the Lexus from Wagner. So this could be an interesting fight in a few laps, and things get a little bit more. Looks like the rubber banding is going on all around here as Gardner is trying to put some pressure in Semedo, but Semedo not backing down.
Yeah, he's
at
really
all.
pushing.
Yeah, Semedo's not gonna give that up. And looks
like
a little bit of a
actually,
pass there.
Semedo makes the move ahead.
It's not done quite yet. They're still side by side. Semedo just slightly ahead there.
And yeah,
And
he
it looks like
secured
Diggs
that.
just gave the position up.
Yeah.
Oh, but a little bit of an overbraking for
Diggs.
Diggs there, and he's going to drop down a couple of positions because of that.
And that leaves
Well,
room
rather
for
be safe
Wagner.
than sorry, though. Rather be safe than sorry.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Thought he was going to hit the back end there, but did not. So good driving from him, avoiding that collision.
Yeah, but he lost 4 spots in one section of a sector. That's how, I mean, the Wagner, Gardner, everybody hopped in that train, said, oh, let's go. And then we do have Russell Allen directly behind him, so he might be looking to move up on Diggs. But so far, pretty good battle over here for this close to top 10. As we see here, a major led by Semedo, and then Gardner and Wagner just one right after the other. This is the closest group so far currently on the track. So
yeah, very, very close group here. And looking at their lap times, too, their last laps are all pretty consistent within each other. Oh, I guess, never mind. As I speak, it changes. But, oh, and looking at track here, we got Semedo and Gardner going side by side.
Oh, and Gardner just takes that.
Oh, but hey, there we go.
But
They're going
switch
side
back,
by side again.
but question mark.
oh
And
boy.
Wagner's looking up the rear
Oh.
end, trying to make a pass here, but he's blocked off by the 2 cars going side by side in the front.
Gardner's just
Oh, man, this could end really,
Right.
really badly for everybody involved.
very
Good
respectful
and
for one
close
another.
driving right
oh,
there. A little
that
bit of
was
a door bumpers
extremely
right there.
close.
Wow,
And
what
he
a
takes
battle.
it. Wow,
that was
Semedo's gonna
that
be
was a
in
good
first
little
there.
battle right there.
A lot of drivers in that clusterfuck right there. That's just what it is right there, honestly. Let's just be honest here. And then
Oh
Lee,
yeah.
too, that gave time for Lee to catch up and is now side by side with Russell Allen near the back of that train there. And it looks like Lee does not make the corner as he would have, and Russell Allen is kind of able to stick his nose back in, going into the lower area here. And there he goes.
He goes
A
way
little
Oh,
bit
he
wide,
goes
and Russell
really
Allen called it.
wide.
Russell
Missed
Allen called
his
it. Yep, there's that position right there. Russell Allen, he knew what he was doing. He was like, this guy's going to mess up. He's not used to going too wide through this. I'm just going to hold my line. I'm going to do my thing, and it turned out all right for him, and now Lee's going to have to catch up there. Speaking of catching up there, he has a great exit out of that chicane. There's now side-by-side with Russell Allen yet again. This battle will not end.
And by the way, guys, as we're following this battle here, Schlitz and Chilcutt up top, by the way, have been battling for the lead, and we got a driver's request, which is over to Chilcutt. They've been pretty close to one another. They have a blue flag to come across soon, but it's going to be a little bit of a battle between Aston Martin soon.
Yeah, for a while there, Schlitz had a pretty large lead, but Chilcutt is now side-by-side for the lead. Here it is. Side-by-side, they're going into the next corner there. But it looks like Chilcutt has it inside.
And he
runs the right-hander
here.
Good move.
Has
good
a
move.
Decent exit.
Nice.
I think Schlitz slipped a little bit on the exit there, and now Chilcutt has secured the P1 spot. And Schlitz is going to have to fight for that, because you know that Chilcutt is not going to give that up easily.
Speaking of that, even Chilcutt has to pass a blue flag car up ahead as well, so he doesn't just have Schlitz to deal with. He's got the blue flag car in front of him.
So Chilcutt, again, he was actually involved on that lap 1, turn 1 situation. He got bumped into the dirt, but
So he's seeing his nemesis right there, a lap behind.
So he's so far he's moved his way back to P1. I mean, he'll take that so far. Now they have not yet pit neither driver, so hopefully they get their pit out of the way without losing much time in the pits. So
let's look back here at 29th. They have a group of 3 drivers right there, a couple going side by side, but looks like they a little bit broke up now. There was I think there was a 3-wide moment there that we just missed. Now they have sorted themselves out here.
Yeah, they've kind of stabilized a little bit, and the heat is still on that battle for basically 11th, as we know.
Yeah.
That has been so far the closest of all, as looks like Gardner is leading that pack at the moment. He's taken over Semedo earlier, but Wagner is still not able to make his way through, as he's still behind Semedo, and then not too far back again. Now Diggs, who has made that mistake earlier, but looks like he's still close enough to attempt to take so.
Yeah, all really, really close, trying to break into that the P10 spot, or at least get close there. And a lot of moves between those drivers just kind of goes to show how close they are as far as skill level.
Oh yeah, like this battle has just been going on for like the past
5 years.
5? Yeah, 5 years instead of 5 laps. 5 years.
Yeah.
And I think it'll
Pretty much.
continue. The only way it'll change is more than likely one of them pitting, and that's when their pit strategy will come into play.
Yeah, it's still pretty early in the pit window there. So they still got about 40 minutes left in the pit window.
Yeah.
To pit.
They still got a ways to go.
Drivers still got a lot of time. Yeah, it's really going to come down to pit execution.
Oh,
there.
yeah.
But these drivers have been making a lot of mistakes and cracking under pressure as well.
Yeah.
So just got to be really, really consistent, and especially on this track where it's so easy to kind of slip and lose your grip there. And speaking of which,
Semedo is starting to lose it a little bit. He wiggled earlier on, and he made like a not the best exit out of that corner, and he didn't stick it.
And Wagner made that move. He said, I'm not going to waste my time on this one, and took the outside line, the inside line going to the chicane after Aquaman the rally. And Semedo tried to battle him a little bit late, break a little bit, but he's like, nah, I'm not going to make it. I got this corner. It's mine. He's going to go after Gardner, who's 11th. So we'll see how that's going to turn out in a few laps.
yeah, right there in the chicane, it's like almost impossible to go too wide through that safely, especially in the wet where handling is different and the bumps are likely to throw you into different cars. It looks like Lee is going to opt the pit right there, getting him out of that little battle.
Yeah, they finally
starting to break up a little bit now.
Yeah, it looks okay, but Lee has gone into the pits, by the way, and Russell Allen, by the way, is still 16th, even though he's lost some time earlier. But now with Krochik rounding out the top 10, but quite a little bit of room between himself and Gardner. It's about 7 seconds between for the top 10. So currently top 10, things were to stay as they are. they're comfy enough bending any pit mistakes or major mistakes. That looks like it's rounded out, unlike our previous race, which was battling to the end for that top 10. So
yeah, these drivers, right now, I mean, honestly, for the wet, they're doing really, really well, handling their car well. Again, you're going to have more TC just to kind of gain that traction throughout the race here with these conditions. But overall, I feel like these drivers are handling the track well. They're understanding what their car can do and how much they can take it to its limits. And these drivers are not backing down from fights as much as I would have expected, but they're backing out when it suits them. So it's one of those things where we see some that are more go for that aggressive strat, but we also see some that go for that passive, more, okay, I'm going to back out so I don't wreck my own race as well. Which is a smart move majority of the time.
Especially with rainy conditions. We don't want anything to happen like that. But as we talking about this, by the way, Mitchell, who's currently in 5th, Damiani was at a great race last week. He's closing in a little bit. So Damiani in 6th, and he just both overtook a blue flag. So Damiani having to see the Aston Martin's bumper pretty close, and that Aston Martin's rear view mirror is looking pretty good as well with that dark Aston Martin from Damiani. So it's going to be a pretty good battle, as it looks like Damiani is making up ground on Mitchell.
Yeah, a lot of Astons in this fight here, and he is gaining that ground here. He's going a good line into whatever that turn is called. I forget every time. But it looks like they're going into that kind of high downforce turn there.
The Aquaminerale. Oh boy.
The Aquaminerale.
This is
Aquaminerale,
it's speaking of Aquaminerale, back the old layout of this track. It's actually quite a I'd say compared before a fast sector. Prior to, I'd say, I believe 1994 or 1995, in that used to be an absolute murderous chicane, and that's 10 times worse than the one that follows after. That was still there, but it was just an absolute crazy. It would literally slow you down to 30 kilometers an hour. It was crazy. And
oh my god,
it was just so, it was like really hard, like almost a 90-degree right-hand turner to a left and on a right again. It was just not the best chicane. You would think it's worse than any other chicane I've ever seen, I would say. And I think it's good that they removed it, because they've actually sped up other parts of the track with the layout changes. So they decided we need to speed this up a little bit, because it was pretty intense on old simulators if you look at it.
Plus, let's just be honest, really slow chicanes aren't fun.
Yeah, it just
that's
way too much.
That's just what it is.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
we need to go fast.
We're gonna add a bunch of sausage curves and hope you don't spin out. And
so, speaking of which,
that's
by the way, Wagner has overtaken Gardner for that 11th spot, and he is now 11th again, still encroaching. By the way, there's about a 5. It looks like it's about an 8-second difference between the 11th and 10th spot right now. Again, things could change later, but hopefully everything goes well on the pits. You'd hate to see your race go, the complete opposite, when you're doing so well in top 10 and then your pit completely messes you up. As we talked about, it's like a whole other game just to pit your car in ACC, and hopefully you can get that out of the way. You're just kind of like sigh of relief once you come out of the pits with no drive-thrus or stop and goes. So
once you got that pit window out of the way, it's definitely a breath of fresh air and a weight off your chest, knowing that you executed that right, or not right, depending on what you did there.
Then check it in
definitely
the
weight
chat.
off your chest.
Really quickly on the chat, Twiggy Official, appreciate the sub, by the way. You've been our subscriber for 3 months, and thank you so much. Hope you're enjoying the race, you guys there on the chat. We do our best to follow all these battles all around on the track. We know for 40 plus drivers. So if you guys enjoy, let us know if anything we need to improve, and now we're always looking to make any changes if we have to improve for you guys. But I appreciate you guys tuning in on this Wednesday night.
Now, what are you talking about? We're perfect.
And currently, by the way, just so you, and Wagner is not free and clear from Garner on that 11th spot, by the way.
Yeah, he's never been clear. Let's be honest here.
and there was a mistake from Wagner leading into the Tosa, the last turn, all the way in the far end where we saw the Roland Ratzenberger Memorial earlier. And Wagner closed in, but he's just not enough to make an overtake. But this is a battle of front engine versus mid, and the Lexus versus Lambo. So not the two most used cars in ACC, but they're making it work. They're close to the top 10, so you got to give them some props for handling these two cars.
Yeah, very, very rare cars as far as seeing them on the track here, but it's one of those things where if you practice enough in the car that you love, you can be competitive with it. And it's a lot of it is about the driver. It's less about the tool and how and more about how you use said tool, and that's what cars are. They're a tool to feel your inner race car and bring that out on the track here. And we're seeing that today. These guys, they're racing the cars they love, and they're racing the cars that they're good with. And yeah, they're competing with all other drivers who are, you know, driving cars that are quote unquote better. So goes to show.
And this situation about the 11th spot, I think the closest battle I see on track so far, following Garner a little bit on his dash cam, so to speak. But he's not giving that up. He's going to maybe possibly pit and maybe try to undercut him. I don't know. I mean, they've pretty evenly matched in pace. Their previous laps were actually in a 57.32 from Wagner and a 56.42 from Garner. So pretty identical. So they're following each other quite well across the track, but neither of them decided to pit just yet as they go to and start their lap number 16 from as they cross the line. So
yeah, neither deciding to pit, and I think if anybody's gonna pit at that battle, it's got to be the guy behind. Just in case he's getting held up there. But honestly, I don't think he's even getting held up. They're both so similarly paced there.
As Garner does drop the bid, looks like he did make a mistake, but not too much. It's just about a second and a half, by the way. Now Wheeler, as you mentioned, has taken that spot from Semedo. Semedo dropped to 14th now.
Yep. Yeah, dropping to 14th right there. A little bit away from the top 10. But Semedo could bring it back. Oh no, Stasiv over in 9th here is into the wall right there, getting back on the track, trying to not join onto the racing line there. There's no drivers to kind of hold him up. He's going to drop down into 10th right there, giving up one position to Krawczyk, and probably has a little bit of front-end damage. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, he's making his way a little bit slow around Aquaman Rally, so he's not a happy camper at the moment. Now, Stasiv, from the looks of it, he said he dropped to 10th spot, and he has yet to pit, which is a good thing because he can get that repaired. That's, I guess, a little bit less time lost on the pit if he needs to repair. So,
yeah, I mean, I think that's another reason too to pit later. You know, if you get damaged, you don't want to already have pit and not have the opportunity to serve your pit window and repair that damage at the same time. You know.
Yes, I am following Crown, by the way, currently in 20th under pressure from Jason Hallen. He's moved up quite a bit. If we actually take a look as far as, you know, we talk about our plus who are the winners as far as position gains and losses. Allen has gained 11 positions so far, which is good. And Crown has only gained 5, so a different outcome so far from the race last week, which we won't even talk about what happened to Allen, Jason Allen.
No, my boy.
Yeah, but he's doing so good. He's doing good with this time around, so we'll gotta give him that.
Yeah, I remember that happening, and yeah, we're not gonna jinx anymore.
Yeah,
we're not gonna do that. Let's take a look on track here. We got a couple battles going on near the front there between Anderson and Roger and Douglas and Mitchell. But I'm going to look over by Jason Allen and Crown there, where Jason Allen is within 10th, coming up on that first turn here. Jason Allen looking for an opportunity to kind of break up that train there.
And Drabe is in 4th, as you mentioned. He's under pressure from Mitchell, who is trying to maybe attempt a move. Neither driver has pit.
Ooh, Mitchell has gained up some time there.
So a couple of close battles at the moment. Now, Crown is leading that small train behind him, 17th. Then it's got Allen. Jason Allen's basically sandwiched in between Crown and Man Pearson in 19th. And again, neither driver has pit, so this is a situation where about 30 minutes into the race already, they won't be changing any tires. But Stasi, by the way, with a stop and go 30. Down in 28th as we're looking at that. So
I think I was speeding in the pit lane because he just went into the pit lane.
So you hate to see that happen. And we just talked about it earlier too. He was having such a great race on the top 10, and that might have done him for this race. I mean, you still got some points from looks of it. Top 40 to get points, but you know, could have been a lot better.
A little bit of a pass going on, I think. Oh, never mind.
That was a blue flag. Yes, as they're still
battling. I was like trying to look on who that was. I was like, well, what's going on? My bad.
Yeah, but they're still battling up there. Mitchell just kind of, you know, sitting there, maybe hoping for a mistake from Dreves, but as looks like Man Pearson has made a move. And Allen has fallen down, so it looks like he has. We'll take a look at the replay and see exactly what happened here as we were.
Yeah, I'm curious as well.
See, as looks like there was just a move on the inside leading into the Tamburello chicane, and Jason Allen just said, you know what, I'll leave you go, and so he did.
Oh, but here it is.
But he's
Jason Allen's about to take it back here in the chicane. He's on the inside, a little bit of door bumpage right there.
And that took Man Pearson
Jason
right
Allen
out.
is able to take that position right there. Well, not completely out. They're still on the racing line. Didn't lose any other position, but they did go very, very wide there.
Within one sector,
door bumpage.
Position switch between the sector. Well, Jason Allen said, well, I kind of let you go, but if you're just going to give it back to me, I'll take it. And he did.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly. I think right there, Crown just could not, Man Person could not hold that position under pressure there. And just gave it up.
So Mitchell and Damiani have all gone into the pits together. I'm keeping a close eye here to see if everything goes well into the pits, as Damiani was pretty close to Mitchell early in the race. Had dropped down a little bit. Looks like Stasi is serving his stop and go. And
it's funny, they're right behind each other too in their pit box.
Yeah. You know, Damiani's hoping for Mitchell to make a mistake, and it looks like Damiani's down before. And it looks like we'll be another cut.
Damiani
takes
pulls ahead.
They're side by side, guys. You're side by side.
They're side by side in the pit lane. What is this?
Wow.
Just like I have overlap.
Oh, jeez, goes right
here. Damiani doing the undercut there is now ahead of Douglas, which is exactly what he wanted there.
Wow. So Damiani's happy.
He just got out like milliseconds ahead right there.
Damiani goes wide, loses traction into the Tamburello chicane and blocks Mitchell. He says, I'm not going to let you through just yet, if that's something they were planning. He was not exactly planning doing, but saved himself from that mistake, as Mitchell is putting a little bit of pressure on him, and looks like he might attempt an overtake as they're out of the pits, but Damiani with a nice inside line and blocks any attempts, for now at least, from Mitchell for that spot.
Yeah, now we're seeing a little bit of train two with Jason Allen and Man Person backing up, but keep in mind that Jason Allen and Man Person have both not pit yet. So technically they're not battling, but still they're going to be part of that train, which is gonna cause for some battles here.
Yeah, two drivers both drivers, Mitchell and Damiani, came right ahead of Allen with the whole group behind him, with Man Pearson and everybody basically. So, but again, like you said, they have not yet pit, so they should be. I mean, as far as current standings go, Damiani and Mitchell are quite up there in the top 10. So.
Yep. Damiani and Mitchell have been battling for pretty much this whole race here, or a good portion of this
they've just
race.
been going at it like for a long while at least, and they're still going at it.
Yeah, but now Damiani has an advantage. They both done the pit there, so there's no opportunity for Mitchell to have another undercut there.
Yeah.
So right now he's got to keep the pressure up and make sure that he races cleanly, and hope that Damiani messes up there.
You know, guys, we need to talk about something here. And Patches is talking about this on the chat.
Oh, man.
Oh, no.
So
that can only
it's
mean
coming
one
from Patches,
thing.
so take it with a grain of salt.
No, but here we go. So he is saying that Damiani ghosted right through Mitchell in the pits. Now, Okay, are you allowed to ghost your
Yeah, you can
driver
do
to
that.
the pit? I know.
You
I'm
can
just
do
giving
that.
him. I'm just giving him crap.
There's no rules against that.
So
There's no rules
Damiani,
against that.
he said, you know what? I'm just gonna ghost right through, just not to even give you a chance to kind of, get into the pit. But Patch is just trying to stir something up with him. So, but he has held the position. But he's like, you can ghost him right to the pits while the game allows it, and I will take advantage of it. So that's how it works. But again, Mitchell is not giving that up at all, as this looks like it's going to be a battle for the next 23 minutes at least for these positions. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be very, very close for a while here, like you were saying here. And I'm not really seeing too many other close battles besides what's going on here. Chilcutt kind of able to pull away here. He's got 5 seconds on Schiltz now over the time we've kind of been looking away from them. He's put in the best last lap and the best overall lap with a 49.3 out of this whole race, which is a crazy pace right now. And I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to pull away with this as long as he doesn't get taken out.
And look at Mitchell trying to make a move on the inside, and he's going to try to lay break him. He shuts the door.
But Damian still blocks him.
You lose some time for taking that inside line into the turn, though, but he's hoping to get that back on the final straight. But Damiani just gets away with that and was able to keep the position. So good, respectable drivers next to one another. They don't want to end each other's races possibly and throw it entirely away.
Yeah,
so
wasn't his time yet.
Wasn't his time just yet.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's all a waiting game.
is really good at holding that position right there, and Douglas is just looking for every nook and cranny to try and fit his front wheels into, but can't quite get it to stick yet. They still got 20 minutes, so there's plenty of opportunity. And we'll see what's going on here. Oh, Damiani. Okay, I thought he scuffed that exit a little bit, but I don't think he did.
He went
going
a
around that
little
hairpin
wide,
right now.
but still not able to enough room. But Mitchell is just hungry for that. He's going to try the inside again, but Damiani's not really giving much room. He said,
yeah, he's honing in.
You know what? And you're going to have to try harder than that.
Yeah,
Catching
you're going
up
to
to
have to do a
Crown as
little bit
well.
more work than that. I'm not going to give it to you right outright. Looks like they're avoiding that curvy, which is really the smart play on the wet if you can.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
going into whatever that turn name is, the weird one.
The mineral water.
The mineral water.
There you go. You remember it this
The mineral water, the vitamin water
Mineral.
turn. And now they're going to go into that tight chicane there over those sausages a little bit.
And Mitchell just obliterating that curve as much as he could, but
Yeah, I think he
He's
drifted a
trying
little
every
bit into
way
that
possible
late
to
curve
catch
there.
up to Damian.
no
think he
regards to
drifted a
the
little
limit
bit.
at all. Just said, I don't know if
Yep.
this is going to be a track cut. I am going
Well,
to try to get to him.
You can't even do that in the Ferrari. In the Ferrari, you bottom out and you're
You
into
were
the
dead.
wall, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Well,
just dead. Yeah.
I'm not even going to mention my favorite car, which doesn't like any curb at all, which is the 720, the McLaren. That one, if you touch the curb, you'll probably just get that curb right through your bottom of the car. That's how low and how
Yeah.
much of a brick
Pretty
that
much.
car is.
Yeah, I
It was-
suffered that in
were
season 5
dead.
last season.
Yes, you were totally dead. That is one car that you just want to avoid all curbs entirely at all costs.
Yep. Yeah. Poor McLaren. I love the McLaren.
Such
Great
a
car.
good car and quick, but just absolutely hates
It
anything that
hates the
isn't flat.
curbs. Yeah.
Yeah.
For some reason, it can't take the curbs at all.
Yeah, no, it's
It can, which is kind of weird because in real life it can. Oh, it looked like Mitchell.
Yeah.
This is his
Oh,
opportunity.
he's gonna take his opportunity.
Oh, they tap each other. That is-
Oh,
Mitchell's into the
that
wall. Is
tab.
tailspin right there.
Oh,
Damiani is
Mitchell
able
would
to
not be happy about that.
He's going to let
Keep
him
the position.
through. Looks like he might be letting him through or
Oh.
not. Maybe not, but looks like it was a
no.
mistake on Damiani's side. I don't think he realized how close, or Mitchell might have closed in a little bit.
I'm not sure. Yeah, there was a little bit of closing there.
It
And
was. I mean, I don't know
Yeah,
if the
it
door
was-
was inviting enough, and Damiani said,
I
"I don't
don't-
think it's open. Is it closed?"
they just came
I don't
together
know.
right there. That's not an. I would have to look back at that as a steward there
Yeah.
and take a look at that incident, but that's
Taking a look
unfortunate.
at
It
the
was so
chat.
clean. It was so clean.
Oh.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go on. Go on.
Just
Look
take,
at the chat,
let's see
man.
if we can actually go back. I'm gonna go back quite a few seconds and just see if we can take a look really
Yeah,
quick. I know
you
we're a
can
little
go take
bit
a look
ahead,
at it.
but I just want to
Yeah,
see
there's
what
nothing
happened.
going on track, so you can go.
So, and I'm gonna keep their picture-in-picture following these guys around as they're battling. But I want to see what happened there. As David loses a little bit and just looks like he actually tapped him. looks like Mitchell was clear, but Damiani kind of moved over and just ended up tapping him a little too much on the inside. So, I don't know. I don't think Mitchell's going to like that. A couple of guys on the chat are saying, well, Damiani banned. We got a couple of things going on here. So.
Oh, no. The fumes are starting.
I think Damiani is going to have a private chat with Mitchell later on about this. I'm not sure what that happened, but
yeah.
In any case.
Yeah, I don't know. We can't really judge it from that one angle, but...
Yeah.
Now, we still have the replay on the main screen, by the way,
Yeah,
guys,
we'll look at the replay or later, you know, like the stewards will look at it, because you know that's going to be an incident, so...
Oh,
yes. That was, I think, maybe a little bit of a... Looks like a little mistake from Damiani, but, you know, we can be sure sometimes on the TV cam doesn't look as clear as, you know, on from inside car view, but we'll see what they say.
Yeah, we'll find out here later on. We're going to look at Somali and Gardner in 17th and 18th, and Gardner just took that position from Somali there with a clean overtake into turn 1 and 2.
Now, earlier, Gardner was fighting a little bit up top. Oh, excuse me, I didn't realize a couple of drives have yet to pit. Now, looking back at positions goes, if we're a couple of drivers have not yet pit, so we see Wagner again on the Lexus has not yet pit, and he was battling Gardner, who is already pit, but he's in 17th. So, granted, as far as pit time goes, and looking at Gardner's pit time from the looks of it on my screen, and for some reason my screen just went crazy. Where is his pit time? Interesting. Oh, here it is. Pit count, that looks like it was a 6-second stop, so really good. Overall, 49-second into the pit and exit, so that was a really good pit from Gardner. So as he was battling Wagner earlier, Wagner needs to have a pretty good pit stop as well to make sure that at least he doesn't that position. So.
Yeah, getting that pit execution, and like you were saying, a lot of those drivers, that 5 seconds, that's a really, really good time as far as time stop there. And I feel like all the other drivers, they had some damage that they needed to repair. That kind of took them a little bit longer in the pits, but overall, very, very well executed there.
Following
as far
18th,
as pit strategy.
Currently 18th, again, near Gardner, Smalley is actually battling Kovac for that 18th spot. Kovac not too far back, just about a half a second for that position, as they have both already pit with just about 16 minutes left in the race.
Yeah, there were two that we saw battling last time, I think, too. Kovac is a guy that's been around for a while, I'm pretty sure, and he's in the Porsche. That has some definite advantages over the Ferrari, but the Ferrari's got some advantages over the Porsche, too, and I feel like this track, especially in the wet, has kind of a balance between these two cars. There's some long straights and there's some tight turns, so it's going to be definitely a matter of skill between these two drivers here, and right now, that gap, it's staying pretty similar here throughout those two cars.
Yeah, it looks like their lap times are nearly, well, Smalley did have a 51.840 and Kovac actually a little bit faster, 51.207. And Gardner slowly getting away. However, his last lap, he might have had a little bit of a cut as he didn't validate that lap. But he's opening up a little bit, just about a second in between these guys. You know, could be interesting if the drivers up front who have not yet pit come right in between them. That can throw things off quite quickly. So,
yeah, those drivers who haven't pit, it's really gonna matter where they come out, because they're gonna come out all throughout, and it looks like just about 10 drivers haven't pit the first 10 throughout the grid there. But it's gonna be kind of strange seeing the grid kind of move around here. And who's in our lead spot, including pit lanes here? So far, Louis is the hardest one up that is pit.
Yes, he just actually had just pit himself, and he came out on the top 10 currently. He has actually been having a pretty good race. Louis has had a pretty good on that audio this. He has got a little bit of room in between himself. Now Hartman was about 2.5 seconds behind. You see him coming on the back of the screen. He has not yet pit, so Hartman will eventually drop a few positions once he gets his pit stop out of the way. So,
and looking at the numbers here, it looks like the time in the pit for Louis was 49 seconds, and he is 57 seconds behind the leader. So that's going to put him, I think, in third once he gets out, once all these guys are pit. So right now, I think still the leader is what we're seeing right now on the field here, even though they haven't pit yet.
And fourth position, by the way, Drebes has taken his pit stop, and it was pretty much flawless with a 6-second stop, if you want to talk about as good of a pit as you can get out of the way. So he'll be coming right out. Doesn't look like a lot of traffic. I mean, this is such a long exit, but there's a pretty big group of cars coming way back there. And he might be joining just right around, possibly, with them. This might be interesting here as he's coming out of the pits.
Yeah, let's take a look over here.
A couple of drivers driving by. Looks like, we talk about Louis has actually got it. So again, as I talked earlier, he came right in between a couple of these guys. So
yeah,
Drebes made through, but Louis, again, in between himself and Hartman, who is yet to pit. But he was able to find a little slot and get his Aston Martin back into the track just fine.
Yeah, very well done from Louis there. And right now, he's one of the top ones that have pit already, but he's in 7th. So right now, yeah, he's he's sitting pretty good up near the leader. Not as of right now, but once everybody does their pit, he's going to be sitting up close, pretty close to the leader there as of right now. Definitely on the podium. It looks like Schlitz is going to take his time in pit right now. Just entered the pits and is heading towards his pit box.
And speaking of, we were talking about this earlier when, I know these drivers have not yet pit. If you're looking at battle for 4th, Krocik, who is 10-second behind Anderson, currently in 3rd. Wagner has actually had a pretty large gap to Krocik early on the race, and neither of drivers has pit, and Wagner has actually caught up and made up. It was a good 8 seconds between himself and Krocik, so he's moved up. Maybe Krocik had a mistake or not, but has yet to pit. But he's got a pretty good race so far for Wagner, currently in that 5th spot.
Yeah, a really good race from both of them so far.
Now, on the picture, I am keeping, by the way, that small little battle going on between Gardner. Well, Gardner a little bit ahead, but Gardner, Smalley, and Kovac for that 15th spot, I would say, up to Gardner. Kovac is pretty close. Smalley's been kind of hovering around the half-second, break or so, but Kovac may be taking his time, and he's got about 10 minutes to get that done if he's going to attempt anything. So, and pit window's open for another 8 minutes, so drivers have yet to pit should be coming in very soon.
Yeah, just a couple drivers that haven't pit so far. We got the first 5 and Hartman who haven't pit yet. And the rest of the drivers have pit. So the grid is definitely going to be mixed up here, and they're going to have just about 7 minutes, 8 minutes here actually going on the clock here to finish out their pit windows and pit. Keep in mind that we do have a 55-minute pit window, so right after the pit window ends, the race ends in about 2.5 minutes, which is what we're going to be doing for the rest of the race here. We're deciding on that really long pit window to give these guys the flexibility that they need to race their best.
And looking back again, currently in 4th with Krocik 3rd, Wagner in 4th. Wagner actually about 0.02 of a second faster on the previous lap, so Krocik on his Aston Martin possibly under pressure from Wagner soon, but both have to pit. So Wagner trying to make up as much ground as he can with no traffic out of him, just sort of following Krocik around and hope to maybe undercut him in the pits. And that's going to be, he's getting really close to Krocik. So Krocik seeing that Lexus bumper growing and growing on his mirror.
Yeah, it sure is. And Krocik right now, he's just going to try and hold the best he can.
As looks like they're now Wagner has pretty much glued on his bumper.
Got to be careful of that braking zone. They're going through the hairpin right now, coming out into that that kind of shorter straight there with that little bend in it, and then into that sweeping left-hander coming down into that water fountain turn. Is that what it's called? No? Okay.
Yeah, well, the aqua mineral, the mineral water, as they're going to
There
come
you go,
down
the
to.
mineral
Yeah,
water.
there
The
you go.
vitamin water, sir.
Mineral water.
I was kind of close. I had the water part.
Just going to keep a little bit of bottle of Arrowhead near you somewhere, and I'll be like, oh, yeah, that is
There
the
you
aqua
go.
minerale turn, if that's even mineral water. you call
Aqua
it.
mineral, aqua water, mineral water, vitamin
Water.
They're going to be going into the chicane after the water. And looks like they both exit the chicane pretty well there. Again, Wagner just looking up the back end, trying to get that move done as best he can. Let's take a look further back to grid. We're going to look at 18th and 19th here. We got Diggs and Semedo. It looks like Diggs was kind of able to make his way into between Semedo and Wheeler, because I think Wheeler and Semedo were battling for a while. Is that right?
That is correct. And by the way, Wagner into the pits, but you are correct. They were battling. That's it's like a little bit of a train going on back there for 18, 19, 20. Again, Diggs, Semedo, and Michu. Michi, there you go. Excuse me if I do not pronounce your name correctly, but yes.
I think it's French.
Okay. Very nice. But
I think so. I don't know. It sounds French or Italian. I don't know. Either one.
Now, I am following Wagner into the pits to see if he's able to get that, right down the 6-second mark, is able to get that in and out of the pits. And I'm not sure what happened, but it looks like Wagner might have had a little bit of an issue during the pit entry, as his car sort of stalled for a second, and I'm not sure if that was right or not, but it was a really quick pit stop, and I mean, he's been into the pit lane for 49, quite a long time already, but really interesting. I'm not sure what happened to him there on pit entry, so he might be losing that position to Garner back, as we talked about earlier, as they were battling. As you see Garner coming down the straight, absolutely flying on that straight. Looks like Wagner with a drive-through, so he's got a drive-through. He might have not exactly sure what happened into the pits.
He sped in the pit lane.
Yeah,
right
hate
there.
to see it.
Just
So that
a little
is,
bit. Oh no, there's a little bit of a ooh. That was close. I thought there was going to be a little bit of an incident with Kovac there, but he was able to save it. But that lack of speed gave up his position to Wheeler there for 16th.
Let's take a quick look and see if we're able to see what happened. I'm going to go back to Wagner for a second, and I'm going to see. I don't think I'll be able to get back as much as I want to. Yeah, this is too long of a pit. I wanted to see what happened to that drive-through, but I don't think the replay will allow me to go back that further, because we kind of took a little bit long. But just unfortunate. He was having such a great race, and just the car looked like something happened in the pits. I'm not sure if it was a pit limiter situation or maybe shift up to second gear kind of scenario, because that's unfortunate that happened. So
yeah, it is unfortunate indeed, but oh wow, and the Porsche sliding around the Aquamarine corner right there. Aqua vitamin water corner, and loses a little bit of traction, and now Diggs is side by side with Kovac there. Oh no, a little bit of bumpage there. Nobody spins out, but it looks like Diggs is going to be able to take that position.
On the outside, he goes, still battling though, but it's pretty good.
Ooh, there is a battle there. I thought he would be able to confirm that there, but yeah, the Porsche is not going to give up, and the Porsche has the inside with the great braking right there.
Look at that, but wow, yep, and he sticks it.
He absolutely sent it on the inside.
Nice by Evan Kovac.
Wow. Let's take a look at that again. We need to see that one more time. So
I agree with that. That was a great move.
He just absolutely sent it on the inside, and Diggs said, oh, I guess, I don't know what kind of brake power you got going on your Porsche. I don't think I have that much, but man, he just took that right over for him. Wow, that was a great move. But by the way, he's still under pressure from Diggs. He's not done just yet, as looks like he's got a little bit of a head, but he's in trouble now as Semedo is right behind him. And not too far back, Michi again. So this is a little bit of a battle going on for 15th spot, and we have just under 5 minutes left on the race, by the way. Pit window will be closing about 2 minutes. Looks like everybody has got that out of the way.
Yeah, everybody's pit, which is great. We don't want any 130-second pit penalty right there. That failure to pit, and yeah, everybody's battling for 15th, and looking at it right now, I don't think any of these guys are going to waver.
And also taking a look currently at 23rd Crown with Whitlock and Pearson not too far back from each other. So about just over under 4 minutes left in the race. Things could change a little bit. It is raining still, as you can see the rain, but he has kind of stayed about the same throughout the whole race. Dry line is kind of there on the track, as you can see it. But the entire race so far has been pretty much not exactly flooded track, so that will be terrible.
Just a light rain,
right?
which is good. And 27th, 28th, and 29th, we got a little bit of a train going on too as well, with Wagner, Jason Allen, and Boardman.
And again, Wagner has already served his pit.
Oh no, Krawczyk had a little bit of a moment there, yellow flag, and gave up 3 positions, kicking him out of the top 10.
Top 10, he has dropped down to 11th. You're right, I've moved Roger and Lee now in 10th. And following Louis, by the way, with Drabes, Louis in 3rd, Drabes in 4th. Drabes has the fastest lap of the race. He's following him pretty close, so Drabes may be smelling that podium. He wants to go for that. He's got about 2.5 minutes to attempt any kind of move, as Chilcutt has practically secured the win, if penny any mistakes, and Schlitz in 2nd. That Aston Martin, by the way, first, 2nd, 4th, 5th, 6th are all Aston Martin, as you can see. I guess this track might benefit a certain car. So,
yeah, just maybe, but I don't really know.
Louis is able to
pretty
his Audi in between them, so good for him as he makes a mistake.
And he actually slid. And a little tap from the rear as he loses it.
No.
Oh my goodness.
Reposition for Drabes.
He's not giving that up.
Now ahead. Yeah, on the main straight right there. Only a couple laps to go there, and yeah, Louis, after coming out of the pit lane, was sitting comfortably in 3rd place, is now sitting out of the podium just at 4th there.
So Louis is not too happy about that. Looks like he just lost his rear, and Drabes just said, well, I mean, looks like Drabes accidentally tapped Louis as they went through the turn. Again, not his fault. He was just trying to avoid the incident at that point, but now he's lost the position, and Drabes into the podium right now, so.
A little bit of a slip there.
Oh, little slide in the rear.
Take that position back, but
no.
Goes deep.
Goes way too wide.
That late braking, it goes way wide. Louis able to take that back.
Still secures it. Yep.
Saw it coming.
Let's see this replay really quick, as you saw, as Drabes did go a little bit wide. Louis said, well, I'll switch that back on the inside here from you, and they'll continue to battle for at least the end of the race, it seems. So,
yeah, definitely a very, very smart play from Louis there, kind of knowing what was going to happen, and Drabes making a little bit of an error and going way wide, securing that position for Louis, at least for now.
And what will just happen here on the chicane?
Oh no!
As he absolutely killed him. Oh my God, we need to see a replay of what just happened here. But he kept position.
Well, he lets him back though. He lets him back. So.
Oh, that's good sportsmanship.
And let's just see what happened on the turn. Looks like he just tapped him as they went into the inside of the chicane. But he knew it was his mistake, and he just let him through. And looks like no foul, no harm, and hopefully their cars are okay to go another lap. As, by the way, Damiani's not too far back from these guys.
Okay, the leader's on the final lap
benefit
now.
him and Mitchell, who is currently in 6th.
Yeah, and looking back, Roger and Lee in 9th and 10th had a little bit of an incident there. But they are now back on track and back to racing there.
Yeah, it looks like they're battling for the 9th spot. You know, Lee already on the top 10, trying to get that 9th from Roger. Now, again, looks like Louis might be keeping that podium after all, as Drabes has felt a little bit, but then Damiani not too far back, with Mitchell not too far back. But as we talked about these drivers so far, we need to talk about Mr. Chilcutt on his last lap. He's a good 6 seconds ahead of Schlitz in 2nd. So Chilcutt might have secured the win here. A couple of turns left into Imola. The picture-in-picture, we are following Lee and Roger, by the way, as they're still battling as they're going through, just about to enter Sector 2. A little bit of a gap now, about a half a second, but the main screen we're following Chilcutt. Looks like he's had a pretty, am I gonna say, I'm saying calm race, but he's like full focus from beginning to end.
Oh,
and
yeah.
had that issue at the start, but went straight into the whole dirt stuff and just kind of came right back. And as he goes to the last turn, and he's going to be coming in and taking that win here at a very wet Imola. Crossing the line as he goes. Chilcutt gets the checkered flag with the win. And switch the camera over to Schlitzer, P2, getting that checkered flag as well. And we'll switch the camera over to Louis under some pressure from Drabiz, who really wanted that third. But Louis holds on and brings his audience. Like, this is not going to be an Aston Martin podium. And just says, I will take my Audi in, as Drabiz crosses in fourth, not too happy with himself. And Damiani holds on to that fifth, with Mitchell having an absolute killer race. We can say that now. He's got an absolute
there
killer
you go.
Yeah, there you go.
We
We did it.
for Mitchell. We'll
We
take
did
him.
it.
Completely
Look at
done,
that.
yep.
And
Good job
Archie
for Mitchell.
seventh, Anderson in
Well done,
eighth.
Mitchell.
And Lee holds on to that ninth spot after a little bit battle with Roger, who rounds off the top 10. So a couple of pretty good races here so far. Krochik end up in, looks like, 11th, and Gardner 12th. As the drivers are coming into close. So, man, I mean, I don't know about you guys. Again, another eventful race that we always have.
Oh, yeah.
Division 2 has been absolutely crazy the past few races ever since the start.
Yeah.
And a couple of
Non-stop action, that's for sure.
a couple of incidents here and there between a couple of drivers, but so far was, well, we caught, I'd say most of the things that we saw coming up as yellow on our screen. But now we're gonna have to pull in a couple of guys once the race ends to get a little bit of an interview. I'd like to talk to the race winner. Hopefully Chilcutt is available, Schlitz and Louis. We'll see if also we're able to pull in Damiani, possibly talk about that little tap with Mitchell and see what his side is. You know, could be anything. As might look different from our TV angle, and we'll see how that looks like maybe on their cockpit. As we are officially done with the race, let's switch over to our intermission page here, guys, and let's go ahead and see if we can pull. There we go, guys. Give me just a second. Here we go. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the chat and see, as the drivers will be joining in for the race review. And it looks like Mr. Chilcutt, our race winner, is on our race review chat. Let's move him over to our cool down room. We're just gonna get how his race went. So give you a sec, you guys. Currently on the stream. Let's invite him over, guys. Here we go. All right, so let's see, Mr. Chilcutt, Alex, can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
Well, I wanted to pull you in for a quick interview. Well, first, congratulate you on the race win. Awesome job. Just kind of wanted to get a little bit of how did your race go overall. I know there was a little bit of an incident on turn 1, but other than that, you looked like you were pretty much on the fly all the way the rest of the race.
Yeah, and shout out to Champion Motorsports. I mean, honestly, D1 and D2 victories after everybody was doubting us at the start of the season. I don't know, man. We're coming for you.
Nice, man. I mean, how did it go, your race? I mean, it looks like once that T1 incident happened, you're just kind of, I know you're catching up to actually Schlitz, who ended up in P2, but it looks like other than that, your race, I'm not sure if it was more just super focused and I'd say for yourself more hot lapping scenario, or I'm not sure if you saw anything going on that was more interesting on your side.
No, I mean, it was mostly just hot lapping. There was some back markers, some blue flags, but they got out of the way nicely. The pit stop went smooth, so it pretty much a perfect race except for that turn 1 incident.
Well, nice, man. Did Jerry, Selena, you guys have anything you wanted to check in with Alex? If not, we'll send it back to the race review. Don't want to take too much of your time.
No, man. Well, good race.
Good.
I appreciate it, guys. Hopefully, I'll be seeing you here in the future.
Sounds good, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Great
once
racing.
Again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Alrighty, and who else do we have in our race 1 room that we could possibly pull? I'm looking for. Oh wow, everybody's. Mr. Schlitz, he is here. Let's pull in our number P2. Maybe he wants to have a little conversation with us. I believe last time we tried to pull him over, and I'm not sure if he saw us, but let's see if we move him to our cooldown and get a little bit on his side. Looks like he had a pretty good race. There we go, guys. And Twitch channel. And Josh Litz, can you hear us here at the booth?
I can hear you guys.
Hey, well, first want to congratulate you on that P2. You had looks like a awesome race all around. I just wanted to get a little bit on how did your race go? Did you see any interesting events? Anything that you wanted to bring up to the people on the chat?
I thought I was going to be able to run away with it after that turn 1 incident, but I knew I didn't have the pace. All my tire pressures were over 31 by a lot, so I was struggling.
Yeah, we saw that at the T1 incident. You kind of got away kind of unscathed there. You're like maybe thinking, oh, this is going to be great, but Chilcutt was looks like he had some pretty decent pace, and eventually you guys battled a little bit, but still got a P2. I mean, obviously you guys were kind of quite a little bit ahead from the rest of the field. You guys had a kind of a pace on your own with your Aston Martins, and it was quite wet. Obviously, the whole race didn't look like it changed that much from the beginning to end.
I think it just got better at the end, just because I think more of a groove was starting to get set in, and then. But yeah, Alex had the pace. I knew he was faster. I wasn't gonna fight him and risk both of our races, so I was thinking about just letting him by if he kept on putting pressure on me. I'm really happy with the P2. Is a lot better than I thought it was gonna be.
Well, for sure, man. Still a great race from you. It is tough conditions, especially on the wet. It's not the easiest thing to do. Things can get kind of slidey at certain times that you're not expecting. So yeah, it's an awesome job to be able to keep it all together for basically an entire hour. So, but I will let you go. I'll send you back to the race review room. Don't want to take too much of your time, and congratulations again.
All right, thank you very much.
You got it, man. Here we go.
See ya.
All righty, and at last, we'll see if we. Give me a second here, guys. Oh, man, I'm trying to find Louis, but I don't see him available on the chat. Maybe everybody has joined in our race review. So there he is, Michael Louis. He's actually available. He does have his mic muted, so I'm not sure if he will be able to talk to us. Let's see if we can bring him in. At least a little bit battle towards the end there with Drebase. Let's see if we put him on the cooldown first, and if he's able to give us a little bit of what happened there, at least towards the end. Let's move him over, guys, and Michael Louie, do you hear us? You are at the booth. I know your mic is muted. I'm not sure if you are able to give us a little bit to talk, but it looks like he left, so I don't think so. You might have a mic set up.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Last one, guys. We're gonna bring in Mr. Mitchell. Let's bring him in. We're gonna get an interview with Mitchell. Come on, we gotta.
He fought well. Yeah, we gotta bring him in.
All right, let's bring him in. We're gonna be. He might actually be doing a live streaming on the race review, so I don't want to pull him away from that. Then we need to pull in. Where is Damiani? And I don't see him here on the list because I wanted to get their take on that. What happened on that incident? Oh, he is here. Let's move in Damiani. We're bringing him over. Josh, Damiani, do you hear us at the booth?
Hello, hello, hello.
Well, sir, first of all, you had another awesome race. Looks like much better than at least the first two races. Last two rounds, you actually did an outstanding job. We just wanted to bring you in, get a little bit of your take on that incident towards the end of Sector 1 with Douglas Mitchell. Can you tell us a little bit about how that go on your point of view?
Well, I just want to say I've been looking forward to that specific battle for quite some time. Being able to race against Doug where my pace is actually close to his is something I've been looking forward to since I came into SRA. But I got a little bit loose on the curb, and Doug took the opportunistic move to get up alongside me, and I just expected him to move more over, and I just essentially drove into the side of his car.
Oh, yeah, we were battling.
I'm fully expecting a penalty.
Yeah, we were following you guys for quite a bit as, you guys, he looks like you were pretty close to him, but then you got loose out of the chicane, and he's like, well, I'm going to go on the inside from the TV cameras again. We're looking at, sometimes that's not exactly how things work, but your car might have slid a little bit to the right and basically tap him, and then both went wide. It unfortunately affected both your guys' race because I think you guys might have dropped a position due to that. I'm not sure if that changed the standings a bit. Then looks like you guys kind of settled down after that. But
yeah, it definitely pulled us back away from Landon. I think it was like 11, 12 seconds back before his incident with Louis there that I noticed. But yeah, I mean, positionally, I don't think it hurt us. But yeah, I mean, I'm not proud of that one for sure. All in all, though, a good race for how little we could see out there.
Well, it is entirely wet on the track, so I was just telling the other drivers, you guys already managing to keeping the car on the track at the speeds you guys are going is already a tough thing to do, and managing to keep on that top 10 like you did, I still got to give you guys kudos to you guys. So, but congratulations again. Jerry, Selena, do you have any questions for Josh?
Did it feel good when you pit maneuvered Doug? I'm just kidding. No, don't answer that.
For the boys.
No, man, you're good.
All right, well, I'll send you back to the race review. Don't want to take too much of your time, but still, good job, man. Congrats on the top 10.
Hey, appreciate it again. Thanks a lot. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Cool, man. Alrighty, okay, guys. I think that's all we have for today. I mean, it was quite an eventful race. Enjoyable from my point of view. We try to catch all the battles. You guys on the chat, appreciate you guys being tuned in, and hope you guys were able to enjoy the race here tonight. Before we close out the stream, we do have to talk about our sponsors and supporters. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in that in front. So you guys who has basically supported us, contributed us here at SRA, we appreciate you guys. And I want to go over the title sponsors and sponsors from SRA. Let's start with Mr. Al Latufo himself. And we have Dan Rebel, Dominic Duran, Evan Keem, Fazli Majid, Gordon Beverly, Jacob Wolfman, Josh Damiani, who we just interviewed, Ken Miller, Kyle McGinnis, Len Shark, Mark Retchen, Matt Morrison, Michael Megenheimer, Milo Green, Paulie Hartman, Ramon Lorenzo. We have Richard Schultz, Robbie Toady, Stephanie Fisher, Thomas Greer, Tony Spaggett, and Zach Sky. Thank you guys so much for being title sponsors to SRA. And let's not forget our sponsors as well. We start with Adam Santana, Anthony Roller, Bailey Kish, Ben Roberts, Connor Farrell, Darren Robichaud, Dewal Banderi, Dominic Duran, Eduardo Rodriguez, Aim Byron, Ethan Marvin, Evan Kim, Gitish Katovkor, Jack Poliak, Justin Rowley, Kevin Anderson, Coadromo, Mark Retchen, Matt Morrison. And the last of the group is Michael Jeffries, Michael Megenheimer, Milo Green, Nate Bright, Nate Speck, Nick San, Philip Menzies, Pravin Fonseca, Ramon Lorenzo, Richard Schultz, Robbie Toady, Ron Flo, Selena Boonstra herself. Thank you so much for your support. We go to Stephanie Fisher, Stephen Smalley, Thomas Greer, Tony Spaggett, Travis Robinson, and Zach Sky. And let's not forget our two business sponsors as well. We have Documize and Retro Saga. Awesome. Thank you so much for the support here at SRA. We do not have the updated standings this time around for tonight's stream, but we will make sure to have the updated standings for our next round. But that being said, do you guys have anything else you guys want to add? It looks like we are good.
No, I think we're good. You guys have a good night. See you next week.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next week at the same time. Take care, guys.
Next time. See ya.
See ya. Have a good night.